Hi, good morning. Right, this post is to deal with Mr. Cobb's Facebook page and his post, which I've had no right to reply, and now I'm going to. 3rd of October, Mr. Cobb writes, let's post all my textbook or my text and Facebook messages for the past few months, yeah, and that will get them on my side. It doesn't matter, there's nothing of interest or relevance or incrimination, but hopefully the people will be as mentally unstable as me and will misinterpret the whole thing as a giant conspiracy like I do with everything. Meanwhile, back in reality, you fucked up, you got caught out, and now you're simply trying to discredit me and divert attention from your own mistakes. Regardless of what you believe, as you are now publicising, it's my company and therefore I do not answer to you or anyone else. So you crack on, mate, because no one's looking at me. The attention is drawn squarely on you. Well, Paul, I don't think Mr. Ackroyd, Judge Ackroyd, sees it quite like that, and I think you're right when you say it's my company, therefore I do not answer to you or anyone else, because you certainly have an answer to him. Despite being requested by Judge Barlow at the first hearing, requested by Judge Ackroyd at the second, ordered by Judge Ackroyd at the third, and once again ordered by Judge Ackroyd, and he gave you, did he not, a list of things that he wanted you to disclose, and you said yes sir, and he made you read back every one after that, and you said you understood and you agreed and you would do it. What have you? Your deadline was the 28th of July and I haven't seen anything. So as apart from the conspiracy, and the Facebook messages and text are quite incriminating, aren't they? Because it shows you, Mr. Cobb, to be the liar that you are. And then he goes on to say, what's pissing me off now is that nothing bug harassment, because he can't spell very well, which has documented history of. I do not need or deserve it, but I will not back down, because despite all his crap, he feels he needs to publicise and spread around. In capitals, there are no issues with me or my company. It's all lies, and it's just a smoke screen for him trying to justify embezzling £24,000 from my company that he continues to claim I had full responsibility for, financial responsibility for. And if that was the case, then why steal from me and insist on certain things being billed to your company, which coincidentally enough are the only things that are unpaid? Even more coincidental is the fact that this very same thing happened last year, and I had sod all to do with the running of that event. So where's the weak link? Well, I'll tell you where the weak link is, Mr. Cobb. Talk about smokescreen and mirrors and harassment. You have done nothing but harass and post all this crap online. You'll notice all your lemmings like damn Hardman, his retort is punch him, because that's how he deals with things. Wouldn't expect anything less from him. Mark Jackson, fucking drop him, right? Well, another moron. All your friends are, from what I can see. But let's go back to that. What you're saying, you won't back down because you know you are in the spotlight, and you know you are a liar, and you know you're misleading people. You capitalise there are no issues. Well, I think there are. There's 14 issues on the last court order alone, Mr. Cobb. And then you go on again, which you keep on telling people that I've embezzled £24,000 from your company. How did I do that? How can I possibly embezzle £24,000 from your company? The fact is, the reality is, that the bar company, which you have the letter, refused to pay you because they didn't know who you were. And it's as simple as that. So no embezzlement at all. And you sat in my garden with Matthew and Ange the lodger, and you said it doesn't matter who gets the money, you know, you pay what's got to be paid, and I'll invoice you for the balance, which you did, which you received. Where is the issue? Where is the embezzlement, Mr. Cobb? Unproven, like all your crap. £17,000 was the invoice that I was going to invoice you for my company, as is well documented in your spreadsheet. That does not include the sound and the PA and the stage and what have you. That does not include that. What I paid the bands and what deals I done had got nothing to do with you. I was given a budget at the outset of 12. I offered you the Hoosiers at 5, and it doesn't matter whether I paid 5p for them or 550 million for them, one of your earlier comments. It's irrelevant, isn't it? Because if I'm given a budget and I spend that budget as I please, but I do expect it to be paid. So let's go back to that 24,000 embezzled. Had you have had that 24,000, you say you would have paid the bands, the PA and the lighting and the power, yeah, and the police, right? Who would have paid me? Because it's only one pot of money, only one pot. It doesn't go everywhere. If you hadn't have spent your money that when the cash came in on your groceries, on your console games, on your toy caravan, on the fire extinguishers that you didn't need, on slush machines that we didn't need, and building up other things, you know, for your personal empire that wasn't needed, there would have been plenty of money. And you still have not accounted for all the gate receipts. You might make out that you've only had 3,000 or 4,000 or whatever. I was there 4 nights. We were oversubscribed when the Hoosiers were on, definitely. If there wasn't 7,000 people on that site, and Peter Crew and others agree with me, then I'll eat my hat. Where did all the cash go? Mark Hook called me up to the office on the Friday night, did he not? And what did he say to me? Dave, we've had over 4,500 people through the gate, but there's only 1,200 in the cash box. I said, well, there's your man there, with your head bowing down, wasn't it, Mr. Cobb, looking at the floor? Ask him, because I certainly never went anywhere near the gate money, and I never saw the buckets, and I didn't see anything, because Cobb told me on several occasions to keep my nose out. It had nothing to do with me, despite the fact I was the licence holder. So really, that's my response to that post. And as far as saying about smoke screens, I think the only one delivering smoke screens, Mr. Cobb, is you, and well, you know it. And you hide behind the truth. You deny everything and lie about everything. It's coming out. It's coming out. What have we got next? Oh yes, where you started laying into my son-in-law, going on about smoke screens and blah de blah de blah. Well, that's between you and my son-in-law, so that's up to Luke to respond to. So I shan't go into that long load of crap. But it's all your friends can see it, I'm sure. Then he says on the there we go. I've got all the order, so you'll have to bear with me while I'm 6th of October. Lord, defend me from my friends, my enemies I can defend myself. Yeah, because all I do is lie and cheat and mislead, and then that's fair enough. Oh yeah, he did mention one thing that I've highlighted here. It's got on the 6th of October, whatever it is you think I have done, and whatever evidence you feel you have, be they illegally obtained bank statements, mail, text and Facebook statuses that you are hilariously misrepresented to support your little theories. Hang on a minute, what do you mean illegally obtained bank statements? Are you talking about the day that you know, you admitted that you couldn't get a bank statement or a bank account because of your poor credit rating, and I said forget it, I'll I'll get one. Because, you know, let's be honest, Paul, and you know it, your job as the treasurer and to book the stores and stuff, that was your job, right? What you did after that underhandedly we'll get to later, but that was your job. I said, don't worry about it, I'll get a bank account sorted out. And then within 24 hours you come back and you said, oh, I've got it all done, Metro Bank in London. Our bank should be run, you said, so you've got it sorted out, I'll let you get on with it. And to your credit, because I give credit where it's due, you said to me, as soon as the cash card comes in and the bank account details, I bring it to you, and you know, and so you can see what money's going in and what money's going out for transparency. And he did. He brought it all to me. He bought me the little blue pack with the cash card in it, the passwords for the account, and it went straight in the safe, and that was that. But of course, I started to raise sponsorship money, didn't I, Mr. Cobb? And where was that money going? Into the bank account that you set up. Right, so that was not an issue going in. And then one day you came to me, and this is after I spent quite a few hundred on publicity. You said to me, can I have the cash card please for the account, because I need to pay for some A5 flyers? And I said, yeah, sure, Paul. Took it out of the safe, gave it to you, and hey ho, that was the last I saw of it, wasn't it, Mr. Cobb? Because you thought, there's cash here. What did we do? We went online, because you gave me the passwords. We went online, we looked at it, and we noticed cash to bank account statements with money being transferred from one account to the other, cash being drawn out, loads and loads of cash in the High Street, in Gosport, Stoke Road, Privet Road, London, Portsmouth. The interesting one though for me was when I questioned you on it, which is the Texas and that I posted online last year, was when I said to you, why are you spending, I think it was over £100, £150 on groceries in the Co-op in Privet Road, and then drawing £80 out in cash? And what was your response to me, Mr. Cobb? Can you remember? Well, I'll jog your memory. It's something to do with, I'm on JSA, I don't have any money, and I've got living expenses. And what was my response to that? Hang on a minute, this money doesn't belong to me, it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the festival, to, you know, for its running cost. And you, what was your response to that? In writing? Well, it's a business now, and it's my business, and I answer to no one but the taxman. Well, at least you admit the taxman there in your earlier post. You say you answer to no one. So that's that. What else do you go on and say? You stated nothing but a smokescreen and tried to discredit me. The simple facts are that 2 out of the dozens and dozens of bills to do with the festival are currently unpaid. Mr. Cobb, you know that's not true as well, don't you? What you forgot to mention there was the power supply company, Frisbee Power, have not been paid. You only admitted that in July, despite the fact you told everybody you paid it. Oh no. So that's another £6,500 that you're going to have to find. You blew both bar deals and then made your own behind my back. Well, did I really blow them? Again, evidence. And why don't you show these? Because I will be reposting this stuff, and in fact, you know, it will go online. The conversation we had was, I contacted the bar companies and they're not putting any cash up front. That was the idea, Paul, wasn't it? And what did you come back and say? I've just spoken to them and they've agreed what they've said to you. I feel physically sick. I'll ride round on my bike in a minute. And you were quite upset about it, because you were saying that they were going to put cash up front. They told me categorically they never were. We were 6 weeks out with no cash, because you spent it all already. No cash to pay the deposits on the bits and pieces that we need, the normal infrastructure bills. So I said, leave it, don't bother with it, I'm going to Paul Askew. That was what I told you, and that's what I did. So as far as going behind your back, absolute balderdash. if they're going to pay a percentage, which is all they were going to offer, right, how are we going to get the bands and everything else on the site to make the event if there's no money to pay them? You can't say to them, oh, we'll pay you afterwards, like you've been promising all your bands for 2014. It doesn't work like that. I've been in this business 40 years, Cobb. You've been in this business 40 weeks. We'll keep going anyway. I openly committed fraud against your company, you said, and all your people agree with you. Craig Hazel, Councillor Craig Hazel, Tory councillor for Alson, on the payroll. Don't look very good, does it? Doesn't look very good for you and your little cronies, and it certainly doesn't look very good for Mr. Craig Hazel, and we'll get to him later on. Noses in the trough, I call it. Anyway, your post, as I say, I'm just picking out on the relevant quotes. It's you keep blaming me for lies and conspiracy. I only deal with the truth, Paul, and well, you know it. We've got the 3rd of October. We've covered. Just for the record, on the 1st of October, it's a bit mixed up, these pages, but it says just for the record. I know, because we're going backwards, aren't we, with Facebook? 8 months of planning, and October the 1st has been about right. 6 24-hour days in a row, yeah, that's right. Standing on stage with your daughter watching the Hoosiers in front of 3,000 people. Don't think so, do you? You couldn't have got another person through that gate. Priceless. You changed the number of that 3,000, I know. Because you later went on to say you were going on about, you know, using the MasterCard advert. Where I've allegedly said somewhere that I'm stealing £50,000 from your company. I haven't accused you of stealing anything from your company, Mr. Cobb, because your company is just a name. Your company is just your alter ego. You don't have a company bank account, right? You have private deposits account for a limited company. And all your cronies that are watching this now saying, I'll have him, don't worry about it, Paul. The truth hurts, and they're going to, you know, when these news stories break out in the press, and not from me, you know, they're going to start thinking, do you know what? Paul Cobb's been lying all along. Yeah, well, he's good at that. He took me in, he's very plausible, very charming. Oh yeah, this was an interesting one. September the 4th, the treasurers of the 2013 event announcement after the success of Gospfest 2013. Yeah, and who was that down to, Mr. Cobb? It certainly wasn't down to you. Some changes behind the scenes have become necessary to change some technical stuff, so here's what you need to know. I've taken over Gosport Waterfront Festival. It's now mine. Technical stuff. What it was then is that he realised that I was going to sue him. And that's not a lie, is it, Mr. Cobb? Yeah, this is going back to the post that he changed, where it's got 8 months of planning, you know, £50,000, which you missed out on the other one later on. The £50,000 is what it would have is the money that we believe turned over in concessions and what have you. So yeah, that figure is right. The problem I've got with is that as we stand today, the power hasn't been paid for, the stage hasn't been paid for, the lighting hasn't been paid for. 3 different companies. The hiring of my equipment hasn't been paid for. So Mr. Cobb, who you did pay, which is in your evidence, but I'm a bit confused, because in your statement you say you paid GS Building Services £10,000, but your invoices only cover 7. The bit I don't get as well is that if you put them down as wonderful sponsors, how come they got paid so much? And they're another disingenuous group of people that have shown their true colours. Again, Mr. Cobb, on that, you're a liar. Well done everybody, going to be a terrific start, and that was on the August the 24th. And what did you say on, you've written, what can I say, a fantastic opening it was for the Gospel Festival last night, amazing atmosphere again, thank you to all those who worked their butt off to give us a fab time, Paul Cobb, Dave Smith, Ginger Smithy, just some I know deserve a lot of credit, more to come people. You know, the bottom line is, Paul, that you've never run a music event in your life. You don't know anything about music, and anybody that can download music from iTunes and stand up behind a console and pretend to be a DJ, well, 3 of my dogs could do that, probably do a better job as well. But you go on and thanking everybody, and for me for leading the way, because that's obviously what I did, although you wouldn't admit that now, but it's all there. 19th of August, right. We're going to give it a little rest, and we'll come back shortly and we'll attack or answer some of Mr. Cobb's other posts.